Not in achievement, but in endurance of the human soul does it show its divine grandeur and its alliance with the infinite. So in the fall, I found out the Ironman was coming back to Louisville with a 70.3 race. And if you don't know what that is, it's a 1.2 mile swim, immediately followed by a 56 mile bike ride. And then to cap it off, you've got a 13.1 mile half marathon. And I trained for this, but as we all know, sometimes things happen that are out of your control.
Oh my gosh, that's freaking horrible.
So originally, I did not plan on making this full video. I originally thought that what I would do is I would make a recap after the race and kind of go through my experience and stuff. But you know, some things came up and I decided that this might be something good to share with you guys out there. So as you know from the beginning, an Ironman 70.3 is no small feat. There's a lot to it and it takes quite a bit of training to do and do effectively. But unfortunately, you know, I've been training for some time now and we are at the end of July. It's July 31st. And unfortunately, I ended up catching COVID in the middle of July. So I'm about 16 days out now from when I caught COVID and finally starting to really recover. But I figured this might be good to share with you all because there's one thing that is out of our control, and that is that we have, you know, opportunities to get sick or injured. And fortunately, I've not really dealt with a ton of injury this year, but unfortunately, good old COVID came and bit me in the hindquarters and was a tough experience. So let's go to my desk and I'll talk through training with you. All right, over here at my desk now. And what I want to do in this section of the video is kind of go over my general training leading up to now. So in the winter and the early spring, I was just focused on general fitness. I didn't have any crazy training plan or anything. I was just generally structuring workouts to keep myself in decent shape. And that was until we were leading up to the Derby half. And I did the Derby half with some friends from my run club. And unfortunately, about 2 to 3 weeks before that, I got sick. I'm not sure what that was, but I got sick with something and I just really wasn't feeling like myself. And I did not do very well on that. But you know what? I chalked it up as a learning lesson, and it was really in that moment that I decided that I needed to get super serious about my training and how I was structuring everything so that I could do the best that I could for this Ironman 70.3. Originally, I was structuring my own workouts, like trying to plan them out on a calendar. And then I came across this program here called Athletica AI that is an AI enhanced training platform that can help you, you know, organize and do your workouts. So like a good example is if you look at this week here, this is this week, you can see I have a workout. Let's see this workout here. So I can take this workout here and I can drag it over here. And what's cool about that is then it will adjust your other workouts based on deleting or doing different workouts. And it was key for me just because I have a very flexible schedule, and it helped me because especially with my swimming, I don't have a lot of good access to swimming. So it was helping me to be able to adjust my swim on the days I needed to. Sometimes I would adjust a run if I couldn't run outside, you know, things like that. So my training was kicking and I was getting it, and I was feeling really good about my fitness, and I was just making a ton of advances in my fitness and was feeling super great. Now that is leading up till the beginning of July, and you know, the first week of July was okay. You know, I was still training, and then the second week of July, I kind of had started to feel like I was just extra tired and more tired than normal. So on the 13th of July, I went to the lake with my family and we spent the day at the lake. And on the way back home, I just really started feeling like super sick. You know, we made it home that night, and then I woke up the next morning extremely sick. And then I went to the immediate care. That's where I tested positive for COVID. And, you know, fortunately for me, you know, my fiance took really good care of me and helped me with the kids and stuff, because I was absolutely really just about useless for about 3 to 4 days. I literally struggled to stay awake. I would just wake up long enough to eat a bowl of soup if I could get one down, and then I would fall asleep. And it was super difficult for me. I'm very independent, and it was very hard for me to need help, but I absolutely needed it. And so that was the initial like 4 days, and then I kind of started feeling a little bit better. And then about 6 days out, I like had some really bad stomach issues, and for some reason this time around the virus really messed with my stomach, and I had zero energy. I definitely couldn't train. I had almost no appetite. I was having to force myself to eat, and it was just miserable. So after doing my own research, and just a disclaimer is that I'm not a doctor or anything, not a medical professional. This is not medical advice, but I found that a lot of people really struggle with gut health after dealing with viruses, especially this one. So what I did was I started taking probiotics. I actually got some kombucha drinks to try to help my gut health, pro and prebiotics, like tried to do everything I could to help my gut health. And I, you know, really focused on my diet and making sure that I had that on point. And once I started doing that, you know, focusing on vitamins, minerals, and my gut health, my energy kind of slowly started coming back. So this just shows an overview of my training program, and this is from the second week with the virus. So Monday, July 22nd would have been day 8 since I had tested positive. And it just gives you an overview of kind of what my training looked like that week. As you can see, a lot of the things I hit below, and that's just because my body really didn't have it. But I'll go into a little bit more detail and explain to you all how I felt while riding the bike. This is my this is my third ride on the bike since having COVID. Felt pretty good right now. And so last week was the second week of having COVID, and I did 2 shorter rides, and I did a 30-minute ride and a 40-minute ride, and then I chose to try to run on Friday, and it actually just destroyed me. So I took the weekend off. I decided to start out this week with just a general aerobic ride on the bike. So an hour on the bike today, and feeling pretty good. Gotta make sure that afterwards I do some good stretching, stay hydrated, make sure I stay on my nutrition, continue on my vitamins, trying to make sure that I don't overdo it, because I think the key thing that I've learned is right now it's more about patience than anything. It's about doing things to keep my body moving, but not really overstressing my system at this point, because I think that's what I did on Friday. Was I was trying to run outside in the heat, and it was just too much for me. So, you know, last week I was very unsure if I was going to be able to do this or not. I'm hoping this is the third week after my testing positive for COVID, so I'm hoping that I have some good improvements this week, because we're getting pretty close. 21 days from my race. So really this week is going to be about trying to get back into doing some activity. And probably that next week I'll do some shorter, harder efforts to try and test my body. And then that last week will just be the taper down to the race. Whew. Let's get after it. And so after that ride, I decided that I would take a day off. And that was Tuesday. And then today, I'm gonna do a short hit 30-30 interval ride according to my plan and see how I feel before I try to give it a go again tomorrow to go for a run. I think the key thing for me to really grasp mentally is that I really have to focus on my recovery, especially after having the virus, just as much as I focus on my training. And I'm trying not to get too focused on sticking exactly to what I had on here as far as the load of training. All right, guys, so it is the 1st of August and I've got until the 18th for my race. So I decided to come out for a run. Now, yesterday I did a hit interval ride on my indoor trainer at 1 hour and 20 minutes, and I felt super strong on that. Felt really good. So I was kind of curious how I was going to feel today. Unfortunately, today, the only chance that I have to run is during my lunch break. So it's freaking hot out here. It's 12:30 whenever I started. I'll flash up the current temperature and humidity. So it's freaking hot, and started out the run feeling pretty good and did about 30 minutes. And by the end, my heart rate was just kind of getting a little too high for what I felt comfortable with. I'm sure a lot of it's just because a combined aspect of the heat, humidity, and then also recovering from the virus. So I think the rest of this weekend I'm going to stick to the indoor trainer, doing workouts on that. The key thing right now that I don't want to...
Heart rate zone 3.8.
See, my heart rate's still up because I just started walking. But the key thing that I really don't want to do is end up overstressing my body and then setting myself back. So I'm trying to be very calculated with the amount of stress that I put on my cardiovascular system right now while I'm still recovering. Unfortunately, the pool that I go to shut down at the end of July, and leading into it shutting down was when I got COVID. So unfortunately, really didn't get to swim that much in July. So I'm just really gonna have to just send it with what I got and just make it through the swim and really focus on getting my running and my cycling back and see where we can go from there. But we're not giving up. The key part about an Ironman isn't the fact that you're going to be able to plan for everything, but rather it's like working through the challenges and seeing what you do with that. So we're going to keep working with this. I'm going to walk the rest of the way back home, get some good nutrition in my belly, and recover for a cycle. So this has been really hard, man. COVID's really hit me in some interesting ways, and that is that one is just the exhaustion. Like when I train, like I feel exhausted. It's like I need naps, and my endurance is just not there anymore. I figure I'd just share this post from when I had COVID, and it kind of sums up my feelings, man. I don't really know if I'm gonna be able to do this or not. So that's a sucky feeling, you know. I put a lot of time and effort into training for this, and you know, you put in all that work, all that time, and for some stupid virus to impact you so much that you can't do something you train so hard for. I think deep down I want to think that all my training is still in there somewhere, but it's just taken my aerobic capacity just down to crap, and it's really frustrating. So, you know, I made a post not too long ago about, you know, generally not knowing if I was gonna be able to do this, and you know, I got a lot of encouragement from, you know, friends and family that, hey, like, it's okay. Maybe this isn't in the cards for you. Maybe you shouldn't do this. I had some people that were really worried, you know, like everybody knows that there have been multiple athletes and people that have had heart attacks and other heart issues coming off of COVID. And it's like, whether you like it or not, that's happening. And I will say that's a worry in the back of my mind, especially with how my cardiovascular system has been since getting COVID, with my heart rate spiking, feeling lightheaded, not having endurance or energy. So I don't know, man. I'm just trying to be realistic about it. And so I'm just trying to take things a day at a time. And if the race day comes and I don't feel like I can do this, or I feel like it's too dangerous, I might just have to drop out and cheer everybody else on, and that sucks. All right, guys, so another hot one. Today is the 6th of August, so race in 12 days. And came out for a run today. Originally planned on running for 40 minutes and did 30. And it's just because it's so hot. It's hot, humid, and I'm trying to be really calculated with what kind of stress I put on my body. The other day, I did a tempo workout on the bike over, I think it was an hour and 20 minutes. And I felt really good. I felt really strong. And so it kind of pumped me up. And really going through COVID and trying to recover before this race has made me realize how key adjusting your goals is. And I think, my goal originally was I wanted to beat my last half Ironman time. And I've just kind of realized that between the variables, between getting sick and then just the heat, this race is in August and my last one was in October, I'm going to have to adjust my goals. And I think my goal is to just, get through the swim. I'd like to swim around the same time I did during the last one. I do want to get a better time on the bike. And then my goal for the run is to not get any slower. I'd like to average around 10 minutes a mile, but we'll see what we can do. Maybe a little bit faster than that, maybe a little bit slower, but this heat is just brutal. It's really hard on your system. And I know this is going to be about the same time that I'm running during the race. So just trying to adjust my goals, give myself grace, because ultimately this race for me is something that I need to do, because I feel like when I lack a goal or something to push towards, I really lose my motivation and stuff. And knowing that, I have this coming up, having a race or something on the calendar that I got to look forward to, motivates me to keep training. Because I can tell you right now, if I didn't have this race coming, I would not be out here trying to get back after it. I'd probably be lifting weights and probably taking it easy on my cardio. But that's kind of why I do it. And it's just remembering why you do it. I just want to be a strong and not only a good example to my kids of what it means to endure, but also to be a man of God and have faith. And I've got faith that God's going to get me through this just like everything else. So I'm stretching out, did a little tempo session this morning. Today is Wednesday, August 7th. And on the schedule, according to my trainer, was a 40-minute tempo session. I ended up only capping it at 30 minutes. And it's just the key thing I've noticed with after coming back from COVID is it's just like my recovery time is like twice as long. I used to be able to do double sessions and then kind of like I could do a double on a Tuesday and then come back on a Wednesday and do like an easier workout. And my training readiness score on my Garmin would usually be like pretty decent, but I don't know if it's just like, it just seems like the virus has really impacted my HRV, which then in the Garmin app impacts your recovery score. So I woke up this morning and my watch was telling me to rest instead of train. So I think it's just going to take time, and I think like as far as the rest of my training goes, I'm just going to have to really train, recover coming into this race, and I'm planning on taking it really, really easy the next week, the week before the race, and just see what I got. So that's like the key thing that I've seen with like recovering from COVID and this virus is that, man, it just like kills your recovery, and it really sucks. But as far as the run goes, I felt pretty good. I mean, my heart rate didn't jump like crazy. I ran in the morning, so it wouldn't be nearly as hot. It seemed like my heart rate was a little bit more closer to normal for what I would expect. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to take tomorrow off and just let my body recover. Even though the training program on Athletica AI is telling me to do other stuff, I'm just trying to listen to my body. So I think tomorrow I'm just going to do a rest day and then probably do a cycle and see where we get from there.
Today is Tuesday, August 13th, so the Tuesday before the race. So just update on the last couple days. I've been taking it super easy. Specifically pop up a picture of my HRV, and man, my HRV just sucks. And it's just like ever since I had COVID, my recovery blows. And so I've just been really taking it easy. I mean, I think what I got in the tank, like the aerobic capacity that I have is there, and I can't do much to change that now. I just did a 20-minute tempo effort just to try to get the legs loose. But I think the key thing that I'm fighting here is the fact I can't make up for those weeks of training that I missed. It's like what's in there is in there. And I'm just trying to keep my body loose, doing some stretching and making sure that I stay active. I'll probably do a decent, probably a little bit of a tempo spin tomorrow on the trainer. And then probably just take it pretty easy going up to the Ironman. Right now, not sure if the swim is going to happen. The algae in the river, I guess, is bad. So I'm thinking by Thursday or Friday, I should know if the swim's going to happen or not. And I know the swim is my weakest event, but I just won't feel right doing this without the swim. But that's out of my control, so we'll see what happens there. So it is now Friday, the 16th of August, and it's Friday, and the race is on Sunday. So I'll just tell you, I had a lot of stuff on the schedule this week, and did a few things. But man, I just realized I probably need to take it easy. Whatever I've got in the tank, I've got in the tank. And I might do a little shakeout spin in the morning tomorrow, and that's really about it. A little shakeout jog and just get the legs loosened up, really stretch out, because I just think I got what I got. And I'm gonna get an IV tomorrow with LOUISVILLE hydration, just to kind of prep my body. But I came out here, they haven't opened up Ironman Village yet for any of the athlete briefings or any of that yet, but I just kind of came out here to look at it because I work down here. I'm gonna go pick up my packet today and check in, and then tomorrow we have bike check-in, mandatory check-in tomorrow, and pick up your timing chip. And then Sunday's race day, guys, so a little bit of final preparations, and this will be race day, and we'll just do what we can do, man. I'm gonna fill out my body, see what I can do. And it's all in God's hands now of what He grants me with the ability to do, because I can do anything with God by my side. And even though I've been battling the after effects of COVID, and really probably what's long COVID, I'm just going to give this a go and give it my best.
So later that day on Friday, I went down and picked up my packet at Ironman Village and then spent the evening with friends before going to bed. And then early Saturday morning, I got my IV from LOUISVILLE Hydration. I just wanted to give my body the best advantage that I could by making sure that I was completely hydrated before the race. and got my stickers and everything squared away on my bike before heading down to turn in my bike. Then I went out to lunch with a friend of mine, did some carb loading on some breadsticks and pasta at the Olive Garden before making my way home for an early bedtime. Did not sleep well, like it seems to happen every time I run a race. I woke up, had a good breakfast that I flashing up here, and then I did some Bible reading in the car right before heading out to get all my final setup done in transition and get ready for the race.
Oh my gosh. So I just finished the Ironman 70.3 Louisville. And man, after having COVID, it was a pure challenge. And, you know, like I kept thinking while I was out there, like, I just want to show my kids that no matter what happens, that you don't give up. So, you know, the swim went decent. It was a little choppy towards the end, and there's just a lot of people out there. A lot of people weren't really sighting the buoys and running into me. I thought for a while, I thought my nose was bleeding, but it was just like the water was nasty and my nose was just like draining snot, really. And I got smacked in the face. The bike went decently well, but man, it was just hilly. I probably went too hard on the bike, but I just knew with what's been going on with my body that the run was going to be really hard. So I kind of wanted to put my investment in the bike, and I just suffered through the run, man. But this is the first time I've done something like this with family and friends, and my fiance was out here watching me and supporting me with one of her friends, and another friend was out here from Run Club, and then my friend Stephanie was out here, and it was so refreshing just to see people on the run course whenever I felt like absolute garbage. But you know, I did it. You know, a lot of people told me that after having COVID as bad as I did, that I wasn't going to be able to finish and I couldn't do this. And I just want to show my kids, I want to show everybody that you just don't give up. I mean, that's the biggest thing. It's one foot in front of the other.
So I do plan on making a full race recap, including how each stage of the race went, kind of going over some of my stats like my heart rate and all that stuff from the race, because it was crazy how my body reacted after having COVID. But for now, it's time to rest, relax, probably do some fishing, and just recover.